Hello everyone, it's me Shagufta and welcome back to our Python series with me. So in today's video, we learn about loops and while loops. So the first thing that comes in our mind is that what is loop? So let me clear that sometimes you need to repeat something like several times. For example, let's say you have written a statement and you want to print it like five times or repeat them. So, what can you do now? How can you do that? So, the first thing that you have to come in mind is that you answer me, let's do copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and do it. Okay, let's say if I do, like if I have called a variable name, and here I call Ali, and here I print name. Okay, so you run days one time, Ali, but I have to repeat it in like five to six times. That's why I have to copy it and then I have to paste it and then I have to paste it and then I have to paste. So you see, there's so many times in Ali. But do you see it's look good in Python language? Is it look professional? Because this is like a some small statement. But if you have to repeat in thousand times in like millions of times, so how can you do that? So I think so it's not a good way. So for this we use loop. So in today's video, we talk about while loop. So if I have to print Ali, so in the loop, if I have to delete this cell, okay, and the first thing in a while loop, what we do now is like I have to print Ali in five times and I have to show the iteration. So for this, like in while loop, the first thing that you do is initialize something, like initialize a variable, initialize. Let's suppose if I have to take a variable name I, and here I initialize 0. Okay, or one, some, it's up to you. The first step is that you have to initialize it. Okay, the next step is that we have to apply a while loop, and here I apply a condition in my variable is that I have a condition that I is less than equal to 5. That's when conditions true if I have to write that. Okay, and here I write 5. As you see in the conditional statement, if else elif, we must apply colon sign. So in the loops, it's also important to apply the colon sign at the last, and then you have to print whatever you like. Like I have to print Ali, like so here I use Ali, and here I have to write the iteration steps, like how many times I have to print Ali. So for this, I have to write I. Okay. And so the above step here, I have to mention it like this is the your condition. That's second most important point in your loop, while loop. Okay. And here I write increment to I plus 1. Okay. So let's see what's happened if I have to print it. So you see the result that we have to print Ali about five times, six times, and our iteration stop at 5. What happened? So you see there's like if you go back and see if I have to print Ali five times, I have to write five times print Ali, print Ali, print Ali. But at this time, I don't do that. Why? Because I use a while loop. So in while loop, we have to use like three types of these steps. We call them is increment or decrement. Like we do increment as well as decrement. That's I am writing. It's all about if you like you easily understand what I am doing. So in the while loop, you must have to do, first step is you have to initialize a variable. Okay. And the second thing is you have to fix a condition. And the third is the increment or the decrement. So if I have to explain this like little more, the first thing that I do is I initialize I is equal to 0. And the second thing is that I apply a condition that you have to check. Like the first thing that you give, like you have to start from the I from 0 to up to so on, how much value you have to like. But first you give me the value of 0. And the next step is that I have to check the condition. Is it satisfied or not? If it's not satisfied, they can't print you any value. Okay, they exit from the while loop. Okay, like I don't even print any other thing from the loop. I only print in the while loop. That's why they are working, and I also satisfy the condition. Like something, if I in the initialization step, if I have to write 6, so what happened? So you see, there is no nothing parent, because 6 is not less than equal to 5. 6 is greater than 5. So that's why the condition is not satisfied, and they can't print you anything. But as for our case, we use 0, and for this they have to run the program. So you see, the first step that they take is I is equal to 0. Like 0 is less than equal to 5, yeah, the condition is true. The next step is that they move to our print statement. Here they print Ali, and what they take the I is the value of 0. That's why they print the value of 0. And the next step is that they in the I is equal to I plus 1. Here we use the I is equal to 0. So 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So now the next time that the loop happens is that when I is equal to 1. Okay, if we have and the next step that when I is changed from 0 to 1, then at this point also they satisfy our condition, because 1 is also less than equal to 5. And then they move the step, and then they and then increment again happens. Then answer is 2 and 3 and 5. Then if I is equal to 5, then the condition also satisfied. It's because 5 is less than or equal to 5. That's why they print. But if I, as I show you, if I equal to I is equal to 6, that's why they stop at the point of 5. They move further because we don't have any limit. So you have to fix I from 0 to 5. No, we have an initialized step. And then the most important thing in the while loop is the condition that I have to mention them, that you must satisfy this condition. That's why it's happened. So you see how easy is it to build a while loop. So if I have to initialize in the next cell, I have to initialize here I is equal to 1, and here I start while loop, and here I give the condition I is greater than equal to like 7, and the colon you must s- apply the colon sign at the last. And here I have to print like our notation. Let's see, it's a dollar sign. Okay, close the bracket. And here I apply the increment or decrement, if you whatever you want. If I have to apply the decrement, I have the condition. Okay, and here I use I minus 1. And if I have to move back to the loop, if it's not happen, it's not occurring, then there's something else. If condition not satisfied, then we would not want to execute anything from this condition. So for this we have to take another thing, that print, so that someone see that it's happened, that something wrong, or the program run, they give you some value or some answer. For this we have to exit from this loop, and here I print the end. Okay, so let's see what's happened. So you see, our answer is not like while loop is not occurring, and our answer is the end. It's because, like you see, when our answer is 1, so 1 is greater than or equal to, it's false. Okay, but Okay, so like in Python, in the while loop, we also use else. Like in Python, we use else when the condition, like the while loop, don't satisfy or doesn't execute, then the else statement is executed. Simply, if I have to use a program, so I can see you. So I show you what happened. Like sometimes, like in the above case, you see, like I use the print when I end this. But if I have two conditions. Like if you have to execute some points, like where we use while loop, I have to print them for 100 times or 200 times. Then if my limit completes, then at last I have to print something. That's where the above show. But if the number don't even satisfy that, so the while loop doesn't exist. So for this, we have to use an else statement. For this, like if I have to use while loop and here I start the while and here I write our condition. We also use a condition to write in the like bracket. Here I get them. I is greater than 0. Okay, and I close the bracket. Oh, I must. And here I print I. Okay, and here I write the decrement statement I minus 1. Okay, and then I have to move back to this statement where I use space and here I write else. Okay, and else here I print I am inside, like boring, yeah, I. So you see, there is 5 times that I have want to print it. Like if in the second time, in the sixth time, when I is equal to 6, when the condition don't even satisfies us, then after that I'm like here the start is 5 greater than 0. Here print I 5 minus 1 4, and then 3 2 1. And when 1 minus 1 is 0, and they print it. And the last step, when the condition don't even satisfy, it doesn't execute, they answer you like. Okay, so in other programming, like in C language, C++ language, we use do while loop. But in Python, we don't have do while loop. So for this, like there is a mini type do while loop does. What does do while loop? Do we need do while loop in Python? So that it execute the while loop at least one time. So like the while loop is made for the type of cases which we discussed at the first. Like sometimes when we have to execute it first and then it happens or not. So these like a similar like a dual while loop. So let me clear you by giving writing you a program. Here I use a I variable, and here I use int to convert the type, and here I use an input user where I get input from the user. Okay, and here I write enter a number, and here I type. Oh, I apply 2 times bracket to close them. Print I. So this is the first step. Okay. Now I apply a condition where while loop, and here I write the condition. Here I greater than equal to, like I assume I have to write it like 38. To close the bracket, apply the colon sign, it must. Okay. And here I also use I equal to that. In that point they also have to, if it's happening, like if they move to the while loop, so they have to get input from the user. Sorry, here I write input and number. Okay, and here print I. Okay. So this is for the while loop, and now we have to exit from the while loop, and here I print done. Okay. So let's see what's happened. If I have to enter a number, like to satisfy them, so let's suppose I have to enter a number 10. Okay. So the number is printing. So it's happened. Now I have to enter a number where I have to use. Okay. If I have to enter a number 4. So yet see it's happening and printing. Like again, they give me another number. Like simply, if I have to enter a number like 78. So here there the program stopped because 78 doesn't satisfy our condition. So for this they have to stop. They don't even go to the next step. So if we have to move another step further, if I have to change above, if I have to again control C. Okay, and here I use and then I had to run the program. And here I have firstly like I 67. So what's happened? The first part it runs and then they give you the answer print done because the condition doesn't satisfy because 67 is always greater than 38. So the condition here doesn't satisfy our condition. So that's why the while loop doesn't execute and the print done is done. So you see a small part of program is run, so, like, it's about a do while loop. It execute the content of the loop at least one time and then stop. So it's execute the content of the loop once, irrespective of whether the condition is true, false. Like they have supported them. Like you see in the above, there I have given them the good condition. Like I have the 10 which satisfy the condition, and then 4, then satisfy the condition. Then I give them 78. They execute one time and then they stop. But if in the further case, if I have to given the number 67, which is greater than 38, and they don't satisfy our condition, so they execute it one times, like the first step executed, and then they give you the answer of the done. So this all is for the today video. So in the next video, we will talk about the next type of the loop, which is about the for loop, and tell about the difference between a while loop and the for loop. So take care. Goodbye.